Learning activities, content, assessments, and core objectives must all align to ensure the success of your students at the end of your course. You might want to get your students working on a final assessment in the first few weeks of your class. Help your students recognize the intentional design of your course in order to maximize their learning and set your students up for success by starting with the end at the beginning. This is backward design. Most courses have some type of final assessment for students to create by the end of the course. It might be a presentation, a final exam or paper, or perhaps a group project or activity. Whatever your final assessment is, can you have them begin early in your course to start working toward that end project? If your final assessment is a presentation or a longer paper, could students choose a topic in weeks 2 or 4, create a rough outline by weeks 4 or 6, present their slide deck for critique in weeks 8 or 10? In other words, what can they begin working on long before the final presentation or paper is due at the end of the course? If your course ends with a final exam, could you create a mock quiz or series of quizzes for them to practice on before the final? If your final assessment is a group project or some culminating activity, could you break down the tasks or help direct them on how to break down the bigger tasks so they can successfully plan for and engage in these activities? Whatever your final assessment is there something they can start early in the course that will get them started? What small steps could they begin working on? You may want to create a checkoff list to explain to students how they need to chunk their final assessment into smaller steps and schedule their time. And you could schedule weeks of your course and their time so that they can know what they need to create and when. You might also consider creating a video like this one explaining what you'd like them to do, or perhaps an audio or checkoff list that will help them in the first few days of your course to start preparing now for their final assessment. These are all examples of how you may use backward design to create a video, audio, checklist, or quiz that will help get your students working on their final assessment the very first week of your course.